Although I've had the Fanatec Clubsport DD Plus on my sim rig for a good amount of time now, I've had one big problem with it. And it's that the Clubsport DD is a chunky boy. This means that my current setup is to have the monitor mounted directly above the rather large wheelbase, and this means I can see the top of the wheelbase every time I race. This isn't ideal in a hobby where getting as close to the real thing as possible is the goal, and Fanatec knows this. That is why they have released the DD Shaft Extension to fix this exact issue. Let's be honest, what man wouldn't want one of these? I've been sent this accessory over from Fanatec to use and review, so I can share my thoughts on its performance and whether you'd benefit from a shaft extension of your own. Now, the Fanatec DD Shaft Extension is a 150mm extension of the wheel shaft that connects any steering wheel to the Fanatec wheelbase. This product's only compatible with the Clubsport DD and DD Plus wheelbases at the moment, leaving the cheaper CSL DD and GT DD Pro a little bit in the lurch. It costs just under €100 or dollars, and it's machined from a single block of aluminium and features all of the electronics required for your Fanatec steering wheel to work normally. Like most Fanatec products, this shaft is finished in black, with this one opting for a gloss black finish, rather than the satin black that's found on the Clubsport DD wheelbase. To install your new shaft, you simply unscrew the base side QR2 using the included tools that come with this accessory. You do have to use the funky orange tool included, but essentially it's just a process of unscrewing 4 bolts. The QR2 then gets mounted to the end of the shaft, allowing you to connect any Fanatec wheel like normal. When attached, your steering wheel will also function and behave normally with all LEDs and buttons working. This is thanks to the internal electronics, which mean the technical difficulty level of installation remains incredibly low. Once installed, the shaft doesn't add any real flex. Fanatec states that you shouldn't lean on it or push or pull it unnaturally, but even if you do a little bit, it doesn't budge at all. During gameplay, everything felt exactly the same as it did before I'd installed this extension shaft, and the force feedback feels identical. There isn't really any additional movement introduced that I could notice. So if the Clubsport DD wheelbase performs exactly the same as it did before the shaft swap, why would you need to buy this accessory? Well, length does really matter in some scenarios. Previously, I had my rather bulky Clubsport DD Plus mounted to my sim rig with the monitor sitting directly above it. From my perspective when sitting in my cockpit, I can see the top of the wheelbase with a rather large gap between the top of the steering wheel and the bottom of the monitor, and it's not very realistic. When sitting in a real world car, your dashboard is almost always lower than the top of your steering wheel. Installing the Fanatec shaft extension to my Clubsport DD Plus allowed me to reposition my setup so that the monitor dips down below the top of the steering wheel. This approach is much more immersive with a greater sense of realism, allowing for a sort of mixed reality approach where your steering wheel feels like it's coming right out from the on-screen dashboard. This added immersion and flexibility in mounting options are the real reasons why a sim racer would buy this extension shaft. Costing less than €100 or dollars, this product's not that expensive in the grand scheme of things, and I believe the benefits that you can get from this shaft extension outweigh its cost, and this is one of the rare occasions where my wife would also agree with me.